Oh, I stopped it. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Rosh.
We shoot from the hip. Flask, I got it wrong. I got it so badly wrong. I'm so sorry.
Well, do you know, one day we might get it right. I mean, I froze. It was like I had stage fright. I don't know what I was doing.
We counted down and everything. Oh my God.
We counted down. Yeah, but I didn't get any music. I didn't know there was anything going on.
Oh, we're playing some music, some random 3-second thing.
I didn't
just
hear it.
before it tells us
Yeah.
it's, doing something. We'll find out actually if anyone's listening, because we have no idea if anybody's actually even listening to our ramblings. You can tell us if you heard any random music or not. It was a bit like do 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 kind of music or blinky blonky music. I don't know what it is.
Oh, well, based on today's topic, we probably should have had a festive jingle.
Oh, that's like
Next
a bit
time.
like hard work.
Well,
I don't know how to do that. I barely know how to do this. We're trying. Okay, so what are we talking about today, Debbie?
Well, so it's been a few weeks since we caught up, and how on earth did it sneak up on us? But today is the 1st of December.
By the time people listen to this, though, it's going to be like the 3rd or 4th of December. Because
well, I mean, maybe. It depends how good our technology is tonight, but, for the record, it is officially the 1st of December today.
Yes, it is. And it's bloody freezing cold. Am I allowed to say bloody? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. That was
It's
allowed.
freezing cold. Freezing cold, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in long sleeves. I never wear long sleeves. Anybody that knows me knows I don't wear long sleeves.
Yeah, me too. I am as well. Look, I've even got this on.
Oh my God. Is that a gin jumper? No.
It's so it is the lovely lady. Yes, Coops and Lou. But yeah, it's my D jumper rather than my gin jumper. But yeah, same brand.
That was just a plug for our favorite kind of hoodie t-shirt online store, Just Coops and Lou. If you haven't checked them out, please do. Public service announcement and all of that.
Absolutely. Yep. Not paid for advertising, but do check them out. Ultimate Hoodie. It's my favourite at the moment. And oh my goodness, have you seen she's got a festive range too?
I have seen the festive range. I keep thinking I need to go and buy it, but then I go and buy something else and I then berate myself for not buying the jumper that I actually wanted. But hey ho, such is life.
That's it.
It's all about making that choice at the moment. I mean, I am finding that if I go and spend on something, I then choose not to spend on something else, where actually a couple of months ago I might have bought both things.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's hard. Are you finding that?
Yeah, there's definitely choices. And I mean, I think, it's always tricky this time of year anyway, because the difference between spending on yourself versus, I know someone that would really love that would go great in their stocking. Is always a tough choice, and that combines with everything else going on right now. That things are more expensive than they were a year ago, and nothing else is reflected. So we're squeezed around the edges, unfortunately. So we are making the best of what we've got.
And we're then bringing up today's subject, which we've both kind of breathed in very heavily over, because we're not suggesting anyone go out and buy themselves an advent calendar. So there's our topic, advent calendars. We're not saying, you must go out and spend money and buy advent calendars, but more of a, do you need an advent calendar? Should you have an advent calendar? What type of advent calendar? We've progressed from the sort of, I don't know, I've only ever known advent calendars to be just chocolate. But I know that they have a whole different significance, which I am very uneducated on. But we both luckily got gifted on our individual social media beautiful advent calendars. Were meant to be the same ones so that we could actually open them together. but we've ended up with different ones, which is fine. You know, these things happen. So I have got a whiskey one, off-brand, very off-brand.
Well, why not? Yeah, and I've got rum.
Also
Rum.
off-brand.
Also off
I've
brown,
got
but that was
yeah,
it was a bit intentional, really, wasn't it, on our part?
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think for a
No,
couple of
not the difference. Not the
not
difference.
the difference, but to not pick gin, I think, was the thing that we both kind of agreed that we wanted to do this time around. And that's not to say that we don't love gin in any way, shape, or
No,
form.
we
We absolutely
absolutely love
do.
gin. Tonight, while I talk to you, I actually have non-alcoholic gin. So I've got, again, not really a plug. I'm sorry. I've got one of these highball non-alcoholic pink G&T things, and it does say to kind of pour it over ice and garnish with a fresh lime. But I've had this in the fridge, so I'm just gonna drink it from the bottle.
Nice.
But yeah, so I'm sticking with the gin. Gin will always be the first love, but yeah, trying something new.
Well, yeah, it is nice to try something new. And after all, last year we both had the same box, which was gin related.
Yeah.
So we're kind of, been there, done that for a little while. And I think this year, one of the reasons why I wanted to try something new was because one, I really kind of want to expand my palate into other spirits and be exposed to a few more. And for me, the concept of things like advent calendars like this that have got miniatures in them is a perfect way of being able to do that. But also really is because more often than not, particularly with the gin calendars these days, then I've tried a lot of the products already, and particularly some of the more mainstream ones that are in there. So it was a case of, well, I've probably got like a full size bottle, or have had at some point, of a lot of them that are in there. So
Yeah.
I'm well aware that that's very niche to me and to you as well.
Yeah.
But that's why I wanted to opt for something a little bit different this year. Just because, pulling out a miniature of something that you already have a full size bottle of
It's a bit like
is
special. It's not special, is it? It's just, yeah. It's a bit
yeah.
like, okay, now what do I do with it? Because I've got it. I know what it tastes like. I may like it. I may not like it. I don't know what to do with it, kind of thing. And I get that you and I both do things sometimes just for the gram. We do, yeah. But I don't know. It just didn't feel authentic. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not. I'm not. And please don't get me wrong. I'm not berating anybody that has chosen to go down that path. It's like you do you, please, because that's we will still love you, and we will still follow you, and we will still kind of
Yeah.
do all of that
And
stuff.
do you know what? There were so many that have come out, particularly from this brand, which this one is from Drinks by the Dram.
Yeah, mine as well.
And the amount of seeded boxes out this year was actually really nice to see, because my feed today has just been flooded with them. And I was actually surprised how many different variations they have on the same thing. I think I've seen 4 different gin ones from the same
And I
company.
think there's been about two different whiskey ones I've seen.
Yeah.
And I think some people have had the boutique gin, or boutique rum. I don't know. I don't know which one it is, but there's a
Yeah.
boutique one as well that also Drinks by the Dram do. And obviously, because they're gifted, we should say that they are available on Master of Malt if you want one. But they are not cheap. We will not lie to you. We will absolutely tell you that they are not cheap. They are fab though. They are absolutely fab. You get 3CL. I think it's 3CL. Have I made that
Yes.
up? No,
Yeah. It is.
yeah, 3CL, which is 30 milliliters in real money. And it's a tiny little bottle. Now I haven't opened my door one.
Haven't you? So I've opened it, but I haven't opened the bottle yet, but only because I've videoed it, so I'll put it up on my stories later. So I have opened my door and pulled it out, but I've not broken the seal on it yet. So let me show you what I have, and I can show you which one, which isn't great, obviously, for people that are listening only.
We're really sorry. We will try to do more kind of just conversational.
But they come with like these really cute, they're really distinctive bottles that they come in that are Yeah.
That's a brand I was not expecting you to pull out for rum. So
Yeah, exactly.
for anyone who's just listening, they're tiny little bottles. They have plenty of liquid in, so you can have a taste. You can, um, again, I feel like I'm plugging it when I'm genuinely just
Just
excited
talking about
over it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm genuinely just excited over it. So this is choose to buy it, don't choose to buy it. We were very lucky and all of that stuff, but um, that brand is associated more with not bitters, bitters. Yeah, bitters.
Yeah,
Bitters
bitter.
is the
Yeah.
right word. Yeah,
Yeah.
bitters. Um, Angostura is the brand.
Mm.
Angostura bitters. I was not expecting rum, but then I don't know very much about rum.
I mean, I know in terms of, like its production, its origins, how it's made, what's classified as a rum versus another. And typically what you see is that most or almost all are produced in kind of like the Caribbean areas. And then normally what happens is for more localized distillers, what they'll do is they'll ship in like a base rum, and then they will flavor, steep, cascade it, and to put their twist on it, or further steep it. They might put it through a machine again. But normally, what happens is that much in the same way as gin is made using a neutral grain spirit, then rum's quite similar in the sense that it's typically imported to wherever in the world the company is, and then they put their own twist on it, which is obviously what Angostura have done here.
Is that flavored or is that just?
Do you know what? I honestly don't know. And this is one of the things that I think is absolutely brilliant about choosing to do something different, is because I have no idea. If I'd have had a gin one, I'd have probably known half of the story and the history on it already. Whereas this, I'm literally going to have to go and Google it because I've got no idea. Because all it says on it says Angostura Caribbean rum, and it's got a number on here. I think it says 1919, but it's written in italics, so it's quite difficult to actually see. Which I think is the name of the version of rum from Angostura, but literally got nothing else to go on other than the fact that it's 40% proof.
I'm going to be pretty much the same with the whiskey in that it. Yes, I know a little bit about whiskey because my dad is a massive whiskey buff.
Mm-hmm.
So, he has, I won't say he has a collection to rival my gin collection because whiskey's a lot more expensive. But he does have quite a good and vast whiskey collection. Some a bit like us, where he's not drinking them, he's saving them, and you know they appreciate in value. And some where he does absolutely enjoy opening a new bottle and sharing it with people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I do know a little bit about whiskey, but I don't know what's in the box. I know it's on the back of the box, and I could have looked, but I didn't look.
Does it? See, mine doesn't. There's a QR code in the bottom right hand corner, which I actually quite like because I think
Ah,
sometimes they'll list them, and there's sometimes even pictures on the back of the box as well. You just don't know
oh,
which order they're going to
actually,
come out
no,
in.
I lie, Debbie. It isn't on the back of the box. You're right. There's just this QR code. Um, and yeah, I just assumed that all the bump on the back of the box was the bottles that I was going to get, but they're
No,
not. It's not there. Oh, that's
yeah.
brilliant. Sorry, thank you for that education. Yeah, it's not there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really like that about it because, I think, we've both been kind of dabbling in this sector for a little while now, and it can be really hard to surprise people like us sometimes. Whether it be with a special liquid or whether it be with particular branding or a pretty bottle or something like that, because we've almost been, and wonderfully and very gifted so, saturated with the amount of different items that we've been exposed to, then yeah, ultimately what that means is that it's a lot harder to have those wow moments. Whereas this, for me, I mean, I'm not normally a fan of surprises, but I am not going to be scanning that QR until the end. I'll
No,
happily
yeah.
look up resources about the individuals as I pull them out, but I'm going to do it properly.
I think I will too. I'm quite excited now to see what number one is. I'm not gonna pull it out because, like you, I want to record it because obviously you have to do everything for the gram.
Yeah.
I've already stopped my husband from trying to steal what's in door number one. He came home and saw it kind of displayed with my other advent calendar, which is a chocolate one, but one my sister put together for me because it's a little bit special. She bought me one of those wooden advent calendar drawer box things.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
it opens up, but guess what? Just
What?
guess what? It's got the skyline of Hong Kong
Oh
in.
my days.
It's come all the way from Hong Kong. She bought it for me. She ordered it in like October, and it came all the way shipped from Hong Kong. So it's cost her like £1 million in shipping.
Yeah.
But it is very, 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 very special. It's going to be something that like I treasure forever, I think. Where it's just so beautiful, and it's got all the drawers, and she's filled them all for me and everything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's chocolate, though. She's filled them with chocolate, or I think she has anyway. God knows what she's filled them
Amazing.
with. But yeah, so when he came and saw this lined up next to that, he went, "Oh, is that my advent calendar?" And I went, no, absolutely not." And
Maybe
I
you'll get a little try though. Come on, he'll get a little go.
he will get a little try, and if something is really particularly smoky in here, I'm not the biggest fan of smoky whiskies.
Uh-huh.
Like there's a couple like Lefroy. If anybody knows
Yeah.
how to pronounce it, please tell us. Lefroy. The minute you just like release the seal on it, you can smell it. You can smell that smoke and peat and
Mm-hmm.
everything that they've put into that whiskey. You can smell it a mile away, and
Oh.
that is definitely not one of the ones I like. Although I've got better, haven't I? I've got better with the bitter, and I do like smoke because I do like what's that tea that we like?
Oh, Lapsang.
Yeah. So my palate is kind of trained a bit more than it was when maybe I first tried,
Mm-hmm.
Lefroy. And yeah, but that might be one that I let him have. Although someone on Instagram has already said, because I posted a sneak peek on Instagram earlier, and someone
Yeah.
on Instagram already said, "Let him have a go." And I went, "Okay, we'll see."
Oh.
Oh, have you had to hide it from the bearded one?
So actually, yes. Rum's a bit of an up and down one in our household. It's one of those liquids that you remember well, and not always for the right reasons. So So the Bearded Wonder has, in essence, been re-educating his palate this year on rum. And actually, there was one of the ones that we were gifted earlier in the year that we did some work on. Remember the Aztec one?
Yes.
Oh my days! Like literally any night of the week whatsoever. If I say to him, "Do you fancy a drink tonight? What are you having? A beer?" and I'm assuming a beer, he'll go, "How about one of those little rums?" So yeah, you definitely getting back in it. But that was like a pineapple and coconut, wasn't it? That one. So.
It was pineapple and coconut. Great in a cocktail though. Like
Oh yeah,
absolutely great in a cocktail.
yeah, very much so. I kept it relatively simple. I did one of the recommended serves, which was with pineapple juice and ginger ale. Literally, no more complicated than that.
Sounds
You
like a
know,
mojito. That just sounds like quite a
yeah, and
yeah.
it was incredible. It was really, really, really nice because the first one I drank, as I do with the large majority of what I put up on my grids, and yeah, it attracted some attention. So we are definitely getting back in there. So I do think I will be doing a bit of sharing on the box, but I'll probably have to test first just to make sure. It was a particularly spiced one that I think brings back memories.
Yeah, no, I won't go there. I won't go there.
So yeah.
So
So
what are you going to do with that Angostura? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I will. My intention is to try every single one neat first, and I think probably even more so important with the likes of rums and whiskies, even more so than gin. I think that there is a need to give them a little try first. So I'll probably put some in a glass and leave it to open up for a little while, just because
What
they
does
are
that?
so much more.
So what does that do? If you pop it in a glass, and it's a bit like wine, like you just
Yeah,
let it
yeah, it
settle.
just kind of it lets it settle, and I think for me personally, and this might just be my experience from where I do tastings and judging and that type of thing, but I typically find that I like to have something poured out ready so that it's opened up a little bit too, because normally if you pour straight from the bottle and then put the glass straight near your nose, then sometimes you get that real like hit of
Yeah.
alcohol going straight in. And if you can get that on gin, then you can only imagine what whiskey and rum's going to do. So for me, that's why I just want it to be able to mellow in the glass a little bit more, just to make it a bit more approachable, so that I can try it neat first. So that's what I'll do, and then, but based on the flavor profile, I'll figure out how it's best served, and it's going to be a really interesting one, especially with rum, because I don't want to be tempted every single time to just assume that it needs to be put in a cocktail, because
No.
you know the likes of some of these spirits are completely perfect exactly as they are, whether they be straight from the bottle, whether they be with an ice cube. Keep it really simple in like an old fashioned kind of serve, or something along those lines. What I'm probably not going to do is be too elaborate with it, just so that the actual spirit can sing itself.
Speaking of old fashions, have
Mm.
you watched that Netflix Drinks Masters yet?
No, not yet.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, I watched it on the train to Paris. So I started watching. No, was it? No, not the train to Paris, because we took the National Express from Manchester to London
Uh
because
huh.
train strikes. And you know, fully support whatever they're trying to do and all of that. But yeah, because of train strikes, there were no trains from Manchester down to London. So we took National Express 5 hours. So I watched it
Nailed
on
it.
my bus journey. Yep, 5 hours there and 5 hours back, and watched it all. And it was. I don't. I think we'll save that topic then. If you've not watched it, we'll save that topic for another one because
Yeah.
I have my opinions, um, and kind of my thoughts, um, but it doesn't feel fair to share them with you until you've kind of watched it as well.
Okay. Well, that feels like a whole episode in itself then.
Maybe we might bore people though if we do that. Might absolutely bore people. But I think going back on topic, like you with the whiskey. I mean, my dad's already told me when I told him that I'd got a whiskey advent calendar. He already told me that I was only allowed to make a cocktail with anything that was in there that was blended.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So anything single malt's a no-no, yeah?
Anything single malts or no.
Mm-hmm.
He said I can make a. He said he's expecting there to be at least one or two bourbons, maybe because
Yeah.
from ones that he's seen in the past, that on Instagram, like last year and the year before, that there's been a couple of bourbons in there. So he said I can make depending on the bourbon. He said depending on the bourbon because I think there are varying degrees of bourbon. I don't know. I'm not bourbon. I know even less about than rum. I think.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, he said depending on the bourbon, I can make a cocktail with the bourbon. But yeah, anything single malt must be drank either neat or over ice. Um, I'm allowed to drink it over ice, although that's
Okay.
not how my dad would drink it. My dad would drink it neat.
It's a real divider, isn't it? It's the like you either insist on ice or are categorically against it.
No, but because I like my alcohol cold,
Mm-hmm.
and like even with gin, I'll drink it neat. I will, like you, I will always taste neat. So I will do the same for this. I will taste neat just to see what I like.
Yeah.
And but for me, I like my alcohol cold.
Hmm.
I really do. So that ice for me isn't about the dilution for me. It's about the temperature.
Yeah.
So I will use a nice big square ice cube, um, clear, so it doesn't dilute too fast. But yeah, I've never used, those stones that you get.
Oh, whiskey stones? No, I
Yeah,
haven't either.
I suppose they won't dilute if I use them. So maybe I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
I
that's
think that's what they're designed for, isn't it? It's so that they
yeah.
chill without adding any dilution. So it kind of meets the need of people that refuse
Like
to
me
use
that like
ice
it
but
cold.
like it
Yeah,
cold. Hmm.
yeah. Mm. Mm. I know. One to
Mm.
ponder. One to ponder.
So
We do
you've
need
got
we need to learn more.
whiskey and chocolate going on in your household. Is that it? Is that where the advent calendars start and finish?
That is at the minute. I did say to my husband I might get a cheese one, but I think I
Ooh,
might be a
mm.
bit late in the day for that. I think the supermarkets don't really have them left, but maybe I'll make my own cheese one. I don't know.
That sounds like a good
The
idea.
problem with having like a cheese one, I feel like I have to keep it in the fridge,
Uh-huh.
and
Oh
an
yeah,
advent
definitely.
calendar in the fridge almost defies the point of an advent calendar. I like it out, and it's part
Yeah.
of my Christmas decorations. Not that Christmas is up in my house yet, but
Same here, as you can tell. That's why there is like nothing festive at all going on yet. It's still in the loft.
nothing festive here either, I'm afraid. Yeah, other than my advent calendar.
Yeah. Yeah, same. Same. I haven't even yet, so I don't know about you. One of the traditions that we have here is that we always buy one new decoration every year.
Oh, I
And
have
it can
done
be
that.
really small or it can be something, last year it was actually
Yeah.
the Christmas tree itself that we put in the hallway, because we specifically wanted one that was a certain height. So that was our Christmas decoration last year, was the tree itself. But yeah, no, I haven't at all got one yet for this year.
I have
Um,
done that. I've probably gone a little bit overboard with that. So I bought one in Paris.
hmm
And there was this man. So Paris, we what we wanted was, because Paris was cold. It was the same temperature as London essentially.
Yeah.
I don't want to say here because I'm further up north than you, so in theory a little bit colder than you, but who
hmm
knows at the minute. And next to the Louvre uh, were the Paris Christmas markets.
Oh wow.
So we wanted to have that kind of European Christmas market kind of vibe.
hmm
And for Paris, we were a bit early. So there was only one Christmas market kind of open. And it was a little bit disappointing. I mean, Paris was not disappointing. We loved it. But the market was a little bit disappointing because we trekked all the way out to the Louvre, saw the triangle, did not wait in line. The line was massive. We did not wait in line to go see the postage size stamp of
hmm
stuff. And we went and had lunch and then made our way over to these Christmas markets. It was raining, so it was you know wet and horrible and all of that. But there just wasn't any life in it. Do you know what I
hmm
mean? Like, I don't know if maybe because we went after lunch and maybe things come alive at night or whatever. But anyway, I digress. And I bought my Christmas decoration there. So there was this man and his wife, and they were making these glass ornaments, and they were just so beautiful. So I've got this glass Christmas tree
hmm
um, made with little glass candy canes and little glass candles on it and little glass, I don't know, whatever on it. So it looks like a fully decorated Christmas tree, but it's that big.
Yeah.
Cost me, an arm and a leg. Um, and yeah, carried it all the way back from Paris. So I'm hoping it hasn't broken in the box. I haven't looked, mainly because I'm scared. But that's my decoration.
Ah. Well, I'm hoping to do something similar this weekend, albeit in slightly more exotic than Paris, Newbury. We have our Victorian Christmas fair on this weekend, so I'm hoping that there might be a little something there to pick up.
Well, the Victorian ones are always good. They're
Mm,
we normally have one in the village that's near me as well. They normally have a Victorian Christmas market. Actually, I should check it. It might be. It probably is this weekend as well.
yeah, I think a lot of them
Um,
are around the same time, aren't they?
yeah, and there it's normally quite good. There's normally like I've bought like handmade decorations and stuff from them before.
Mm,
They are really good.
yeah, so I'm definitely on the lookout. Definitely on the lookout.
And some mulled
But
wine.
yeah, mulled wine, but I've also already negotiated this year mulled cider. That's where it's at.
Mulled cider. Do you know? I was telling somebody in the office the other day. Yesterday actually. I was in the office and one of my colleagues said they always go for the mulled wine, but then realize they don't actually like it. I'm a bit similar in that I'll start. I'll think, oh, yes, I could really, really do with a mulled wine.
Mm,
And then by sort of half a glass, I've had enough.
yeah.
Um, but you're right, mulled cider. I was telling them at work that mulled cider is just so good. But what
It
goes in it?
is.
What goes in it?
It depends. Depends who makes it. Because a lot will use like a really kind of like intense cider itself, but then mellow it with like a cloudy apple juice, and also to fill it out a little bit so that it's not like overly boozy. Or you may get variations of cider themselves that are so mild and gentle that don't have that sharpness to them, that are actually just good, just themselves, with a little bit of citrus, and then just have some steep spices in them. Absolutely gorgeous.
So who have you negotiated it with? Which one are you trying?
Who do you think? Who do you think?
Well, anyone who knows you knows that you're associated with one Newbury brand.
Yes, true.
So would it
Yes,
be that one?
it would indeed. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So, 137 will be out serving the general public from the front of the distillery this week, and it's been a bit of a revelation this year, actually, because I think obviously very, very known for gin. Lesser known, but kind of moving up the ranks, known for vodka as well now, the botanical vodka.
This is
Um,
137 we're talking about, yes?
137, yeah. And now it's all about the mulled cider, which obviously he doesn't make himself, but brings it in himself. So I think he blends two from Somerset, two different blends. And his are pure cider, so there's no juice in there.
Wow. Wow.
So
You'll have to let me know how it all tastes.
yeah,
Is he putting a cheeky little bit of gin or vodka in
I
them?
think it's one of those that needs to be kind of an optional extra. Otherwise, it can be proper overload. That's the real kind of, in the same way as you go to like European Christmas markets and you can have a hot chocolate or you can have an amaretto hot chocolate. It will be, an optional drop in there, because actually you wouldn't want to heat for too long. Certainly, spirits like gin, because it could burn them quite easily.
You know
But
what was
yeah,
you know what was a revelation for me one year? You can have mulled wine, but then you can have mulled wine with a shot of amaretto or mulled
you
wine with
can.
a shot of
Yeah,
cherry brandy.
yeah.
And it just,
Takes
I
the
mean,
edge off, doesn't it? I mean,
it's
it's
super
really
boozy,
alcohol. Yeah,
but so, so, so good.
yeah. I'd say what was interesting. So when we were younger, pre-kids, all that kind of shenanigans, then we always used to do a trip to Christmas markets, but we'd always go somewhere in Europe. So you'd need your passport to go there. So we've been to like, your France, Germany, to all sorts of different markets and stuff. And I've only ever come across one either in the UK or abroad. And this was a little one, almost in one of those towns in the middle of nowhere that just seemed to have this most beautiful Christmas market. But it's the only place I have ever found mulled wine made with white wine.
I have had mulled wine made with white wine because I think Marks and Spencers sometimes do it in a bottle.
Mm,
And I've definitely bought it because I don't drink a lot of red wine, and you know that, Debbie, because I'm actually allergic to the tannins. So I do drink some, but I'm very careful kind of how much I drink because the tannins do affect me quite badly. Um, but I've never. You're right. I've never seen it like in a market.
Mm. Yeah, we have literally just the once, and it was so good, and it was such a revelation. That was the market where we bought the actual mug, so we'd remember where it was from, which of course is in a box in the loft somewhere, yet to be uncovered, and may not even make it out this year. But we did literally. It was. I remember it because it was like a white frosted mug that was made out of glass, so that you could instantly tell that it was white wine that was in there rather than red, because you could see through it.
So I'm going to challenge you now, and I know I failed at the last challenge because you challenged me to something and I didn't do it. But I'm going to challenge you to come up with a white mulled wine recipe that we can both make. And
Ooh.
we will no doubt film another one of these or record another one of these in the next kind of week or so. But yeah, something that we can make. So get me a list of ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
And let's give it a go.
Yeah, why not, eh?
White mulled wine.
White mulled wine.
Might have to put a shot of something in there. But
Maybe. Who knows?
sorry,
Yeah, so that's the weekend. We'll head over to the market there. But other than that, we've been quite low key Christmas wise so far. I mean, obviously, I know it's only the 1st of December today, but you know, even for the kids this year, it's just do you know. Do you know how you feel like the pressure sometimes when you start doing something and it kind of sets a precedent? Like, you know, like people that do like Elf on the Shelf and stuff, which, you know, I don't have the energy for anything like that. And I've done several in the past, like, you know, when the kids from that were younger, there was one year where I did an advent calendar where I bought 24 books and I wrapped up each book and put a number on it, and they got to open it. And again, I kind of got to the end and thought, God, I feel like I've wrapped Christmas already, and it's not even here yet. And the kids loved it and stuff, but it was a case of, you know, sometimes you're making a rod for your own back, aren't you? You're putting like undue pressure on yourself in what you want to do. So this year, it literally is the Cadbury's chocolate one for £1 from Tesco.
And do you know what? So many people have done that.
Yeah.
Again, one of my colleagues at work was saying this morning that she was teaching her little boy, who now understands advent calendars and you know chocolate, that you're only supposed to open one door at a time. And she put it down for 2 seconds, turned it back, and he'd opened all the doors.
Oh,
and,
no.
You know, and eaten the whole box. And she was like, I'm glad I only spent £1 on it and didn't buy like, you know, a lint one or, you know, or something slightly more expensive. And it was just the one because she'd have been really quite gutted and, you know, had it all just kind of gone. But yeah, have you ever had anything like that with your kids where you've turned your back and they've just kind of done what you didn't expect them to do?
Do you know what? Yes, but not always at home. The most famous one, my youngest, when she was a toddler, we were at a wedding, and it was one of those ones where it was a country manor in the middle of nowhere where we hired the whole place and stayed there. And in the morning we gets up, and it was all like self-catering by this stage, so that there was all like the family mucking in the kitchen, and they were just, you know, bacon and eggs flying absolutely everywhere. Yeah, my youngest had a thing for bacon that particular year for no apparent reason. And we had her in a high chair, but there were so many of us all like trapped in around this table because it wasn't necessarily designed for it. We were all just mucking in. She thought it was so good, she ate off the person's plate next to her. And still to this day, we talk about her being the bacon thief.
Did she just reach out and grab?
Yeah, she was like, well, I don't know, 18 months, something like that.
Oh, do you know what? At the time, everyone would have said, "Oh, so cute."
I know, but me, I died a little bit inside.
Because I said to my colleague today as well, I was like, "Oh, so cute," you know, that he ate all of that, and she went, "Yeah, but you know, he's now going to have a sugar hyper." But like, you know, I've had to drop him off at nursery, and thankfully he's somebody else's problem while he's got this sugar high.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, yeah, I don't think of that. I just like, oh,
Yeah. So yeah, definitely a few stories like that. Absolutely, for sure. But yeah, so yeah, looking forward to a good year this year, but a lot of the festivities yet to kick off, really. Though actually, the first in the household to sort their advent calendar this year was actually the bearded wonder himself.
did he do a beer one?
Uh, so no, and again, he's never really been that tempted by it, just largely because he likes to try one of everything in terms of beer, and therefore the best option for him would be a self build. So that he
Yeah.
could go and, pick a variety or get someone else to pick a variety rather than like ordering one off the shelf, because he has particular taste when it comes to beer. He likes very much like your moderns and your IPAs, your pale ales and that kind of thing. But actually where he really struggles is with a lot of the darker or the more traditional, like brown bottle ales, that kind of thing. So yeah, so he didn't. And normally he's the last person to get in the festive mood whatsoever until his advent calendar turned up in like October.
What is he got?
Now, I don't know whether you've seen this, but it comes up on my social media advert feed all the time, and it's probably only because he's mentioned it, but it was
Yeah.
some sort of weird Kickstarter this year. And it's an advent calendar, and it's made out of wood, so it's like lasered. And it's
Oh my god. I'm bracing myself.
Have you seen Have you seen Die Hard?
Yes.
So, like Die Hard is considered, is it a Christmas movie? Is it not a Christmas movie? Because it wasn't intended to be a Christmas movie, but it's set at Christmas time. So come on, it's totally allowed.
And it came out at Christmas and yeah.
Well, it didn't. It actually came out in the summer, but it was set at Christmas time. Yeah.
Because doesn't he say something? I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah. So there's this huge debate. Anyway, this random advent calendar arrived this year, and it is actually the bad guy. So Hans Gruber, played by Alan Rickman, if I'm right.
Yeah.
And he's at the top of the Nakatomi Plaza, and you move him down as he's falling off every day for 24 days.
What do you get?
Nothing. Just the satisfaction that the bad guy got it again.
Oh my god. I don't know what to say. Like
Me either. It's special. It's really special.
I don't know what to say.
But there's no.
We made it a potentially special. I mean, what?
I know. That's it. So, but it will be the gift that keeps giving year after year, because it's made out of wood and he can keep falling year after year.
Is Die Hard the one where he says "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal"?
No, that's a clip that's in. I can't remember the original film.
That's a clip from Home Alone.
It's a clip in Home Alone, yeah.
I'm gonna Google because we can Google, can't we? Merry, who says "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal"? Home Alone 2.
Well, yeah.
Lost in New York. But who said it first?
It's like a Christmas trivia quiz, isn't it?
Yeah, someone tell me who said it first, because Google's coming up with only Macaulay Culkin. And there's got to be the original. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Are you Googling now?
Yeah. I'm intrigued now.
So how many has he moved? Has he moved the bad guy down
one? Yeah, so he's started falling now.
Okay. So it's the shape of a building.
It's yeah. So it's made out of like an engineered piece of. It's kind of like, feels like MDF. It's been looks like it's been like laser etched onto it. So it's like a skyscraper building.
Yeah.
Because that's where they were, held hostage and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And at the end, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Die Hard, but quite frankly, where have you been since the 80s? The bad guy, the bad guy falls to.
If you haven't seen Die Hard, it will be on some TV channel
Guaranteed.
between now and Christmas,
Yeah.
because it's more likely to be on Christmas Day, because it is officially a Christmas movie, or at least the world says it's a Christmas movie. Whether you agree with it or not, or we agree with it or not, nobody actually cares.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it literally is, and then it's got the little guy, and also made out of wood. But then there's just like you just pull him down, and it
Like,
counts
is he
down.
on a string, or what is he? Is he on a string, or on a?
No, he's kind of like because he's made out of wood himself, and it's like a slider.
Oh, I had a vision of the game with the monkeys and the tails, and you kind of just the monkey barrel game where you kind of lift them and then all of a sudden they all fall down. I'm not clear here.
I don't know, but I'm putting it on my Christmas list.
I had a vision of it being like a monkey with a tail. I'm now looking for this monkey barrel game.
I'm not familiar with it. Is it similar to Hungry Hippos? Because I know that one.
Yeah, kind of. Monkey barrel game.
Is it like Kaplunk?
Yeah, kind of. It's called a barrel of monkeys.
A barrel of monkeys. Well, that sounds like a barrel of fun.
I don't think it is. It's a bit like pixie sticks kind of thing, where you just kind of chuck them and hope for the best, and whoever loses the most monkeys, well, they lose. I'm selling this game, aren't I? I'm really selling this game.
If that's not in my stocking come Christmas, I'm going to be sorely disappointed.
Well, you said that he actually listens to our random ramblings, because in the middle of the night he said to you, didn't I? Didn't he said to you something? Not I. Him. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he did. Yeah. We were completely oblivious. So when we did our last podcast, then you asked a question and you went, "Is the Bearded Wonder available?" And I looked over and he was incredibly busy at the time. And I looked and I gestured and he just looked at me and went, "No." So I went, "The Bearded Wonder is not available."
Please call back later, caller. It is quite cool. Do you know what? I didn't realize it. I know we call him the Bearded Wonder because obviously your husband has a beard, but he also loves beer. So
yeah, he does. It's almost like he grew a beard on the basis that he decided that he likes beer.
Yeah. So it just kind of, it only makes sense that his name is the Bearded Wonder.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if he ever stops liking beer, he also has to shave.
Oh, is that a deal?
Well, it is. I've just made that. Now.
Well, and you've put it out there on the Tinterweb, which means that he has to abide by it. That's the law, right?
Yeah. Very true.
So, Mr. Ginsterberg, or Ginsterberg, which one would you like to be called? Are you an iceberg, Debbie?
I'm not an iceberg. Yeah, definitely not on the Titanic.
Mr. Ginsterberg. Yeah, if you're listening, if you happen to listen to this in the middle of the night, then yeah, if you stop liking beer, you'll have to get rid of your beard.
You have to get rid of the beard. Yeah.
Then we can't call you the Bearded Wonder anymore. You'll just.
I did once sell his beard.
How can you sell his beard?
We auctioned it off for charity.
No, what? That's disgusting. What? As in, he had to shave it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I bought it. I bought the beard.
So do you actually like the beard?
I like the beard aesthetically.
Oh, okay. We've gone so off topic.
I think it suits him. He would look quite weird until beards aren't a thing anymore. As long as it's not moustaches that become a thing again.
Say what?
Like, can you remember when moustaches were a thing?
You call it a moustache?
What do you call it?
What's a moustache?
What? Was it?
What's a moustache?
What's a moustache?
Moustache?
What do you call it? Moustache.
Not moustache.
It's a moustache.
That's like, you like that. Did you like The Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
Did you watch the episode where Raj calls it a moustache?
Moustache? No.
Moustache. Oh, moustache.
No.
Moustache. Moustache.
Moustache.
Moustache.
I can't believe you're picking on my accent. How does your husband say it?
What? Moustache.
Moustache, yeah. Only because he's from like a similar neck of the woods. I wonder.
I'll have to go ask him.
That's your challenge. That's your challenge for when we regroup. That
He's going to say something silly. I'm going to go, Debbie wants to know how you say mustache. And he's going to go, moustache.
Yeah, probably.
Like just for effect. Just for effect. In my dialect, I think it's my dialect. I actually don't know. But in my house, we call it a muchi. A muchi.
A muchi.
Yeah, that
sounds like Pokemon.
Well, so I'm Sindhi Indian, and in my dialect of Sindhi, mustache is called a muchi.
Ah, not a moustache, no?
No, a muchi.
I like that. That's better.
A muchi, yes. So we tell Penny that she's got when she's like yesterday she ate like she likes to lick the leftovers of a yogurt tub.
Right. Okay. I thought we were going to go to a really dark place then, but yeah, yogurt pot.
Get your head out of the gutter, woman. And she ends up with like all this yogurt on her mochi.
Oh, that's allowed. Yeah, see, if like, because you know, like when you're a kid, and you get like milk at school or whatever, or you did up until Thatcher took it away, then you'd call it a milk tash.
Oh yeah, okay, I get that.
Yeah,
yeah.
But that is actually strengthening your case that it's called a mustache rather than a moustache.
Don't know where you come from. Mustache. Mustache. No. Yeah, no. That just doesn't feel right. But obviously you do you and you be authentic, and if you want to call it a moustache, you go ahead and call it a moustache. I will just giggle every time you do, for sure.
Dear me. I've no idea. Right, Rosh, how did we get from advent calendars to talking about facial hair?
I don't know. Back to advent calendars. So are you gonna... So I chose today to... I put my little teaser up to say I've got one.
Yeah.
And obviously I did it a couple of days ago as well to, I put it on my stories to say I've got one. I've chosen not to reveal the same day on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will, like today's I will do tomorrow, and tomorrow's I will do the next day, or even a couple of days later. Just because I want people who've gone out and paid for this to have that element of surprise. I don't want to be the one kind of spoiling it for them.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, we've already said one of the good benefits about this particular box is that there's no indication on the box at all what's in there either. So there's,
No.
and it would be a real shame that people are literally avoiding social media so that they don't know what's coming up in their advent calendar. I mean, that
And
just feels a whole level
it
of
doesn't matter
craziness.
what advent calendar you have. It could be, it could be the cheese one. It could be
Yeah,
the Cadbury's chocolate, and you don't know what shape you've got, or do you know what I mean? It could be anything. It's still
yeah,
that element of surprise for you.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, no, I will be doing the same. So I will put a story up the following morning for whatever was in the date for the day before.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the best way to go. I just I don't want to spoil it for people.
Yeah, because the thing is that I have literally, it's not even the order because I've no idea. I mean, they could all be mixed up differently in the same range. Because I've had that before, where I've had one in the past where I've opened the same day as someone else who's got the same calendar as me, but all the bottles are in a different order inside.
Really,
Um,
I've never
yeah,
had that. That'll be
yeah,
interesting. This is where if we'd got the same one, we could have compared. But I mean,
mm,
we're not unhappy with what we've got. So please don't misunderstand me. We're very very happy with what we've got. We just would have liked to have talked about it,
yeah.
but we have, and then gone on to the
But in
topic of mustaches.
moustaches
Mustache,
and bacon.
mustache, and bacon, and beer, and yogurt,
Hmm.
and I don't know, mulled wine and
Mulled
Christmas
wine.
markets.
Yep. So I've taken my note of the challenge so that when we regroup, I will have come up with a white mulled wine.
Yeah, you have to tell me though, so I can make it beforehand. But I
Yeah.
won't drink it until I'll make it just before
Hmm.
because I can't make it while we're recording unless I take you in the kitchen with me.
Yeah.
But then that's a bit difficult because I can't take the mic and everything else. That becomes a bit cumbersome. Um, yeah, no.
Yeah. We'll do that. Maybe I'll find out why white wine, white mulled wine, isn't anywhere near as popular.
But do you not find it's the same? And I'm conscious that we're kind of at 57 minutes and we need to kind of wrap up. But um, do you not find the same with like sangria? Now, like I like
Mm.
sangria, but again, I said, I have to limit how much red wine I have because of tannins. And sangria falls into that category. So if there's ever a choice to have white wine sangria, I will always go for white wine sangria,
Yeah.
um, or rosé even sometimes.
Hmm.
But it isn't as popular as red sangria. So it's not everywhere. Even in Spain itself, it isn't everywhere where you can get white wine sangria.
Hmm.
It's not like a thing. Um, why? Why is the red wine version of these two quite similar cocktails? Because one is hot
Summer and winter, isn't it?
and one is cold. Yeah, exactly. It's a summer and winter variation of
Yeah.
almost a very similar cocktail. With the exception that one is spiced and the other isn't. But like, it's got similar fruits in it. You put fruits in mulled wine and everything else, citrus
Yep.
fruits. Why is the white wine version not as popular?
Mm. Guess what?
What?
We're gonna find out.
No, you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out. Oh. Well, as always, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you and at you and over you and all of that, Debbie.
Yeah, no, it really has. And I am going to, well, first of all, I'm going to go and get involved in this little beauty. So I will be testing out the Angostura Caribbean rum this evening. And then I will be, first of all, going to raid my white wine collection to see what's in there, to see whether I think that there's something suitable. If
Let's
not,
go
I
with
will be.
cheap and cheerful. Let's go with cheap and cheerful because
Yeah,
I don't
exactly. I want
really
to go for
want to
something
spend a
that's
fortune.
accessible
Yeah,
because otherwise you're not going to be able to replicate it easily. So, yeah,
no,
I'll go
and
see what I've got.
I've got anything that can use up the fact that I've got some wedged oranges already in the freezer.
Hmm.
That would be good because I've saved them from extinction in
Yeah,
my fruit bowl. So yeah, anything I can kind of use up what I've already got would be
hmm,
really good.
yeah, yeah. No, it will be a frugal version. It will be an accessible version.
Yeah.
For those of us that want a little something special, but obviously don't have the budget to be able to go over the top.
Okay. Sorry, I've still got this nasty cough. I'm gonna now play some of that plinky plonky twinkly music. Another 3 seconds of it, and then I will catch you later.
Well, indeed. All right. Speak soon.
Bye.